All right.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Welcome back to another Shit Talk Fridays. I'm Gina.
And I'm Evo.
I almost forgot what my name was.
Yeah, it's been that kind of week, right?
Yo.
You've had a rough week this week.
You said that last week. I had a rough 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it rough. I just would call it long.
Extremely.
Yeah.
I think I clocked like almost 140 hours in 2 weeks.
Busy week.
Yeah. But anyway, we're here to talk some shit and have a drink with everybody. And welcome to the stream, Edgar. It's always a pleasure to see you virtually.
My man, Edgar. What's up? My man.
And why is your drink a different color than mine?
Because yours is the Miami Beach special.
Miami Beach special.
Miami Beach special.
And what is yours?
And mine is the Don Julio Añejo.
Oh, okay. And welcome to the stream, Mark. Nice to see you. Happy Friday.
What's up, Mark? Happy Friday, brother.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. The taste of a drink going down my throat after the week that I've had is almost like orgasmic.
I know what that feels like.
And Becca, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you again. Thank you for joining us. And Stephanie, hey.
Becca? What up, Stephanie?
So nice to see everybody. So happy that everybody could join us tonight on Friday. The weather is absolutely bananas over here in the tri-state area.
Yo, right?
There was hail,
crazy.
there was rain.
It was like a windstorm. It was warm weather. Then it was like it's just been all in one day.
Mother Nature was pissed off
all
today.
In one day.
She was like, "You're gonna get it all in one shot."
Yo, she was letting you know you can get it any which way, any given Sunday. Just be prepared.
And by the way, Mark, yes, I did verify it. And about the Cool Runnings thing about the characters.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, they were just like, Black American.
Wow.
Listen,
that was some good acting.
I would just like to say that the whole topic of that we spoke about last week, and where we highlighted some of I had highlighted the fact that an actress that played in the movie wasn't an actual Latina. I got hella smoke for that.
Yo, they
on
came
TikTok.
For you, girl.
They came for me. And Stephanie, thank you so much. Yeah,
the hibiscus, is that what this is?
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Thank you very much.
And I said thank you. And meanwhile,
right? I'm like, there's no hibiscus going on over there.
Yo, let me tell you something. My brain today, I'm surprised that it's working.
Chloe might be making biscuits over there, but I don't know about hibiscus.
So guys, I have your streaming on a 65-inch. Oh, that is amazing. Stephanie, do us a favor and take a shot of that and DM it to me. I would love to see that. And our baby cat Chloe is here today joining us on the stream. So yeah, I got hella smoke for that topic last week because people thought that I was hating on the fact that a Jewish woman played that role. But I did title it that the role had been whitewashed, and a lot of people came for me because they said that being Jewish is not considered white. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because I have some information on that could potentially say different.
Also, a lot of people came for you and did the typical thing by not reading the full description.
Yeah, that I said that I still loved her in that role.
You said you still loved her.
One person out of 500 comments was like, did y'all not notice that she said that she still loved this person?
That just goes to show you how many people actually pay attention.
So Mark is asking, why did they come for me? People just felt like a lot of people on TikTok were saying, so what? It's just acting. Like, why are you mad that a person that wasn't Latina? First of all, I was not mad. I was actually just surprised to find out later on in life that she wasn't Latin. But I still loved her immensely in that role. I thought that Jeanette Goldstein did a phenomenal job. It was just surprising to me to find out that she wasn't actually Hispanic or Latin, whatever you want to call it.
And I just think that people jumped the gun once they, you know what? It was the
the snippet.
The title the caption that you put on.
I should have just put trigger warning.
Yeah,
but I do that on purpose. Let's keep it real.
I think that prevented people from reading on to what it said at the bottom, and I think they literally stopped there, listened to what you had to say, and then commented based off of off of that.
Yeah, which is fine.
It is what it is.
I take the heat. I take the smoke.
We're here for the controversy. Let's get it.
Oh, so Stephanie's asking to give her a cue pose. Here, let's hold our drinks. Hopefully that worked.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
So tonight, we have some fun things that we want to talk about, and we're going to be starting off the night talking about high school experiences.
Yeah, what we're going to do right here is go back.
Go way back.
Way back. Go back into time.
And we would love for you to join in with us on your high school experiences. And one of the reasons that Evo and I decided to talk about this was because I still see people that I went to high school with still reminiscing about being in high school, which is honestly mind-boggling to me. But then at the same time, I also have we have a son in high school, and he's about to graduate.
Yeah.
And I feel like his experience is so different from our experience, especially now with fucking COVID. But so we just wanted to talk about high school experiences. So I would love for you to start us off, but I just want to read a comment. So Edgar says, don't go that rabbit hole, but if you do, I'm here to regulate and bring the real. And then Stephanie says she got it. Mark says, I find it so irritating how much offense people take because of skin color. To me, racism is senseless as hating someone who has a different eye color to you. Crazy. I would definitely agree with that. It's I think people just lack empathy. And
funny thing is, people will hate on your eye color too.
Yeah, I think people just lack empathy to understand other people, and it's unfortunate, but it's the world that we live in. And when do I ever think that we'll get away from that? Probably never. But I want to hear about your high school experiences, because I know that your experiences in high school and my experiences were very different.
Totally different ends of the spectrum when it comes to that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I can't really say that I'm one of those people that reminisces about the high school days.
I sure don't.
But my high school was cool. I don't have a lot of like bad things to say about my high school experience. The interesting experience that I had was more in middle school, right? It was still high school, so like it depends on what kind of school you went to, right? So 6th grade in some schools would start in the high school, right? And some schools it starts 7th grade.
That's some Jersey shit, but go ahead.
All right, so that's some Jersey shit.
That does not happen in New York.
So New York, what
9th grade.
9th grade is high school.
Yes.
All right. So
high school is always 9th grade. It's 6th grade. What you mean by this is that 6th grade was in the high school, but you were not in high school.
So no, 6th grade actually had its own school, and then 7th grade and 8th grade were in the high school.
But you were not in high school.
It was like a different wing of the building.
Yes, I gathered that, but you weren't in high school.
Yeah, but you still got that experience because you were in the same building. So you still saw high schoolers. You kind of like saw everybody in the older grades. You got the vibe of what was going on. It's not like you were in like a whole nother school.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Yada got beat the hell up.
Everybody kind of.
Well, like I said, you and I had very different experience. So please elaborate.
Listen, my high school experience was cool. I mean. There wasn't a lot of crazy things that happened when I was in high school. I mean, there was your occasional fights and stuff like that and beefs, things that happened. But what I remember the most, that it's like, how do I put this? What I remember best about high school was the high school dances and the proms, right? So I had the fortunate privilege of going to every single prom that for every year that I was in high school, I went to prom every year. So 9th grade, 10th grade.
I just want you to repeat this.
So I had the privilege of going to prom every single year that I was in school. So from 9th grade to 10th grade to 11th grade to 12th grade, right? And I was attending the junior prom each year.
So just to define this, you were a PIMP.
I mean...
Evil don't
I did my thing in high school.
Evil always plays down. He's like, I only went to prom every year.
But it was what it was. And in addition, I went to prom 2 years after I graduated high school. So 6 years in a row.
Wow.
I ended up going to prom. So needless to say, I really enjoyed the high school dances and the proms.
Lord have mercy. And this is why our experiences were so different, but I just want to read some comments. So Edgar says, I went to an all-boys high school. Which year do you want me to start? Ooh. Edgar, which any year you would love to start with. Would love to know what that testosterone-filled environment was like. And Mark says, I think it's the lower IQ levels that promote racism. When it comes to school days, I was quite popular footballer or soccer player, as you say it. So was fun memories. And then Mark says, Evo PIMP. You went to prom 6 years in a row?
6 years in a row.
That is legit the polar opposite of my experience in high school. Because how about I never went to prom?
Really?
No.
Damn, Gina.
Well, hello.
I mean,
spoiler alert, Gina had a baby in high school. So that wasn't happening. I actually had my oldest son in my junior year of high school, and then had to transfer out and had to get my equivalency diploma because I couldn't finish school with him, going to school with him. And they had a program in my neighborhood where I could bring him with me. So no, I never got to go to prom.
Man.
But to be honest, I don't think I missed anything. In my opinion.
If I wouldn't say it's something that to be missed. You know, it wasn't something like, oh my God, you know, you should regret not going. But if you did go to one, it was one of the better parts of high school. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you got to get all dressed up. It was kind of like a show, you know, where you kind of like displayed your fashion sense and who you are. A little bit of a status kind of thing, you know, who's popular and who's not, and who's dating who and who's going to what. You know, it was like an interesting way to establish who you were amongst all your peers, you know. And so the fact that I went every year for 6 years and 2 years afterwards, I mean, that definitely said something.
That shit just sounds ridiculous to me. Evil's like, I'm 20 years old going to fucking prom.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. I don't know what you want me to tell you. They were still calling me up after school. Like, Evil, you want to come to prom?
Evil was in college getting his bachelor's in business, still going to prom.
Yo, listen, man.
So my experience in high school was very different. One of my most vivid memories was smoking cigarettes in the girls' bathroom and then getting freaking yelled at by the security guards in my school. There was this one security guard, I'll never forget. She used to call me Silver because I had a mouthful of braces. And she used to be like, Silver, you up in there smoking them goddamn cigarettes? Get out the bathroom. And the security guard wasn't allowed to go in they weren't allowed to enter the bathroom. They were only allowed to like just yell from the entrance of the door. So they would bang on the door. And we'd be in the last stall smoking all types of cigarettes. Why did I do that? No fucking clue.
Yeah, I never did that, but there was kids in school that did do it. And you know, you heard about them getting caught in the bathroom smoking cigarettes.
That was me. This is how I know our experiences were so different.
It's like how how you think you're gonna get away with that? It's like you're gonna stink up the whole bathroom.
I didn't get in trouble. I just got told to get the hell out the bathroom.
Oh nah, in my school you'd have got in trouble. You'd have got suspended.
Nah, the security. See, again, you and I went to very different high schools. My high school, the security guys kind of knew that shit was going down. As long as you weren't doing drugs, they were gonna ask you to stop, but they weren't going to. They weren't going to get you in trouble for it. They were just like, listen, the bell rang. Get your smoke a cigarette ass to class.
So you walk into the bathroom and it would just on a regular smell like cigarettes?
Oh, yeah. I would walk into the bathroom looking to find people smoking so that I could smoke.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So Edgar said, so Mark says, what are American proms like?
So American proms are basically like, I mean, it's like a wedding.
Yeah, like a small version of a wedding.
Yeah, it's a banquet with music, you know, and dancing, and that's pretty much it. You know, it's like a dinner where everybody gets all dressed up, shows up in limousines, and you know, you taking pictures, and it's like, you know, if you ever been to a banquet, it's pretty much the same thing.
And then Edgar says, Freshman Friday, a group of dudes from Mount Vernon High School went hunting for freshmen, but the seniors from Mount came to our defense. Kind of. The seniors were saying only we beat up our freshmen. And then Mark says, our proms are not sophisticated at all. I would love to go back to high school. What I know now. I wish I could be as carefree as I was at school.
Oh yeah, now we got decked out. We got decked out on prom.
Yeah, I don't know about that experience, and I find it so interesting because kids in high school, they ball out, but they're actually like balling out on their parents' dime.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And then afterwards, after prom, there was always like, you would go and you would either go down the shore and rent a hotel room.
Yeah, that's
and go party it up.
A Jersey thing.
Yeah, you would go party it up afterwards and kind of just continue the prom thing, and every guy was looking to get lucky.
Yeah, in New York, we were. I didn't even go to prom, but I know that they were trying to go to a club afterwards. Nobody was trying to go down the Jersey Shore, but that is definitely a Jersey thing. I moved to New Jersey when I was 19, so I came across some people when I started working in New Jersey that would tell me that's what they did. They went down.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
shore.
if you could just imagine going to a banquet, and then afterwards, going somewhere where you're going to wake up the next morning, by the ocean. It was just, it kind of went hand in hand,
Oh, I can only imagine. And Sonia, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining us. Our cat right now is sprawled out.
Yo, she is like bugging.
She's got her leg up. So other than prom, do you have like a really like vivid memory for like a high school experience?
All right, here's an interesting experience, right?
Okay.
And it wasn't it wasn't in high school, but I remember this like it was yesterday. So.
But what do you mean it wasn't high school? It needs to be about high school.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
First you start, like, what are you talking about?
I'm just, but I just feel like, it could have happened in school to anybody.
No,
it was just, it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen to me in high school. I feel like this could happen to any kid that went to high school.
No, it needs to be it's about high school experience.
I mean, by the time I got to high school, I was chilling. Like, I was popular. Like I didn't really have no static with anybody. I didn't like my high school experience was very like just nonchalant, and I went to school every day and got along with everybody. Didn't really have no beefs. I think one year I had a beef with somebody, and my brother came to school one day because like they were trying to jump me, and my brother squashed that shit in front of the school by himself.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, Evo, PIMP.
Yeah.
Do you see how nonchalant he was like, I just went to school every day, I was just chilling.
Yeah, that's like my most like weird, awkward experiences were like before I got into high school.
So Sonia's asking, what are we sipping on? So I'm just drinking straight coconut Ciroc on the rocks, and Evo is drinking a reposado.
Yeah, Don Julio.
Don Julio.
Yeah.
I actually have quite a few, even though I only went to high school fully for 3 years. I have some really great high school memories, and one of my most vivid high school memories, or my high school experiences that I will always look back upon, and I will just be like, yo, that shit was boss, was I ran track. In the high school that I went to, we were the most diverse high school in all of the borough. I lived in Staten Island at the time, and we were the high school that had the most Latins, the most blacks, and we had like a good mix of Asian and white in our school. So our track team was very diverse. But because we had that diversity in our school, when we went to track meets, the rest of Staten Island was primarily white as far as their high schools. Mm-hmm. So when we came to a track meet, shit was about to go down because, the Latinas and the blacks, we smoking people on the track, okay? I'm sorry. And I'm just going to keep it 100. When Curtis High School, that's the school that I went to, when we came, people were shaking in their boots because they knew that we came to dominate. And it was honestly the most boss feeling ever to like travel to certain meets with my team, and we be in like in our school colors, and we walk in, all the schools be looking at us like, damn. Yeah. Curtis High School is here. I'd be like, yeah.
You know what?
Get ready. We about to run this 4x4 relay and take it all.
That was the vibe when in football, like when we would go watch a football game and like there would be a team that would come play us and it'd be like all black team.
Well, hello. Yeah. That was my school. Yeah. Same thing. The football team was the entire island was afraid of us. Because the football team would train with us, right, and we would train with the football team.
So y'all knew what each other was about.
And we were the only school in Staten Island, even though we were the most ghetto. I'm going to keep it 100, okay? We had the only pool on the island. We had the best track and the best field. So we dominated. And it was funny because even though the other schools, I guess, had better, like, overall, like, environments, we had the best, we had the best sports when it came to our school. So like I had such a sense of pride with that. And I will always carry that with me because I'll never forget the day that my track coach approached me. We had like a gym event or something like that my freshman year. And the gym event was like, they had an aspect of track and field. And like, I ran the 4x4 relay just in a gym event that we had at like towards like the beginning of the school year, my first freshman year. And the track coach came up to me. He was like, "You ran pretty hard. You looking to do that full time?" I was like, "That sounds like something I want to do, sir." And that was it. And like it was honestly like one of the best experiences. And still to this day, I love to run.
Yeah.
I still run, and I run hard. And honestly, I still do the same thing that I did when I was in high school when I ran long distance. I sing songs in my head to keep me going. Because, you have a conversation in your mind when you're running or when you're working out.
Yeah, you got to psych yourself out.
Yeah, you're literally like, "Oh, man, this hurts. I want to stop." I would sing, "I like to move it. I like to," and I'd be running like, "I like to move it." Or every time I saw a person, I was like, "I just got to get past this person. I just got to get past this person." That's what would keep me motivated. And that's what I do now when I run.
I did track for like a hot second.
Yeah?
Yeah, I never found my place though. I think I tried the shot put. That didn't work out too well. Because I was like, maybe like a $1.10 soaking wet.
Evo was a $1.10 PIMP.
Yeah, $1.10 PIMP. I tried the 20-yard dash.
Oh no, you have to be a sprinter for that.
I was definitely not a sprinter. I tried the long jump. That didn't work out, and then so eventually I quit. I tried basketball and I tried football, and it was just I don't have a sports bone in my body. I'm more of an extreme sports kind of person.
Yeah, well, if they would have had snowboarding or something like that, that would have been.
That was my thing. That was my thing.
Yeah.
So my brother Johnny introduced me to skiing, and I took to that, and I enjoyed that a lot. I did that for like 5-6 years, and then I ended up switching to snowboarding.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things that I liked about high school is that every once in a while we would take field trips, and some of the field trips they would take us skiing.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's that Jersey shit again, because we sure as hell wasn't doing that in New York. So Edgar says, sophomore year, my high school had a dance in February 1990. We were the only Mount students were allowed, and any girl from any school was allowed in. At the end, the DJ announced Mike Tyson got knocked out. That honestly is such a dope story. And then Mark says, my best high school experience was being voted footballer of the year.
Nice.
It's been like 20 years, but sadly, I'm still so proud of that. Don't be sad. Yeah. That's honestly, I have the same vivid memories about running track.
That's a great moment.
I actually placed 52nd in long distance running when we ran 3.5 miles, and 52nd out of 200. That was like one of my proudest moments. But I also placed second place in the 300. I ran the 300. I did the long jump, and I did the 4x4. I was a beast at the 4x4. I was third leg. That was my shit. And then Stephanie says, I didn't enjoy high school. Only great memory I have is I lettered varsity. Is that what that says? Hold on a second. I want to make sure I'm reading this right.
Yeah, lettered varsity in tennis.
Oh, okay, 3 years. Dislocated my kneecap. Oh, damn.
Ouch. School will do that to you. Sports in school will do that to you. There's a lot of people that get fucked up pushing themselves through sports in high school.
So the one last high school experience that I had that I would love to share, and I hope other people in the audience can concur with this, my exposure to music really was broadened through high school. I was the type of person in high school that I was cool with everybody and anybody. I was cool with the jocks. I was cool with the nerds. I was cool with the popular. I was cool with the goss. Like I just chill with everybody. Literally every day at lunch, I would just go sit at a different table. I did not give a shit. And because of that, I was exposed to so many different facets of music. I'll never forget a friend named Michelle. She was actually a friend of one of my friends that I later became friends with. My friend Melissa introduced me to her. And one day she had on her headphones in school, and I walked up to her and I was like, what are you listening to? She was like, Nirvana. And I was like, oh, what's that? Let me hear. And she put it on. Done. I was like, went out the next day and fucking got the CD. You know what my trick was? I bought wired headphones. I used to run it through my sleeve, and I would put the little pod in my ear, and I would sit in class like this. And the teachers never had a fucking clue, because I would just be like,
that's actually pretty slick.
Yeah. What? I'd be listening to Nirvana on repeat because of that. On top of all the other stuff that I used to listen to. Excuse me 1 second. I'm actually gonna step out.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. It's funny. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, there's so many things you didn't get to experience in high school. Did they have a senior smash in your high school? Did you know about that?
Senior smash. Yeah, that was again not something that I'm familiar with.
So senior smash was basically they would rent out like a country club for the seniors to go for a day, and you would
this is definitely a Jersey thing.
But so there was nothing like that in Staten Island?
In where?
Staten Island.
What are you saying?
Staten Island.
Oh, it sounded like you said that a little crazy. No.
That's crazy.
New York, I'm telling you, the things that Jersey schools do in comparison to New York schools are very different. I didn't think that there was such a stark difference, but there is. And I'm so glad that I went to school in New York instead of New Jersey, because I think New Jersey's a little too fluffy for me.
I mean, if you've never been to school in New York, then you don't know any difference. So you could say that it's too fluffy for you because of you grew up in a New York school. But had you not grown up in a New York school, it would have just been normal school to you.
Yeah, but I was from the hood, so like,
okay, again,
like a lot of the stuff.
Had you not grown up there, it would have just been normal school to you. I mean, you gotta understand, coming from DR, like it wasn't nothing pleasant. Like when my elementary school in DR, like the playground was just rocks and dirt. You know what I mean? Like,
here goes Evo with his DR stories.
I'm telling you the truth.
He's like I made kites out of
you want to talk about I grew up in the hood and all this other stuff. Like I grew up in kind of like poverty.
Yes, I would agree with you. I'm just saying that my high school experience was very different from you.
Well,
so Stephanie says, "Oh, Evo went to a fancy school." You see?
Yo, and honestly, that's not even the fancy schools. Like the fancier schools, I didn't live in like one of the richer counties in New Jersey.
Yes, I know you didn't. So, but I'm just telling you that the experience in New York is very different.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I mean, don't get it twisted. I do think that there's schools in New York that are probably as prestigious as New Jersey. I just think the school environment is very different. I think we are cut from a different cloth.
Of course we are. And there's no doubting that.
No, I said we are, not you. You're not included in that.
Of course, we're cut from a different cloth.
I meant people from New York.
Yes.
You're not from New York.
I know. So that means that we are cut differently. You're cut from one cloth. I'm cut from another cloth.
Oh yeah,
so of course we are cut from different cloths.
Oh, but you said no, we're cut from a different cloth. Yeah, you didn't say cloth.
No, I didn't say. See, you kind of took it as I said that, like we're cut from the same cloth, and you're like, no,
because you said cloth. You didn't say plural. You confused me.
Okay.
I'm just making sure Evo ain't trying to Did you guys just see? Did you guys just see my cat just try to nip at me?
Yeah,
she is 13 years old and she's feisty. So Mark is asking, do you have rival schools over there?
Yeah, kind of,
Well, definitely where I grew up, we were always rivaled, and it had a lot to do with our sports. The fact that our school athletics dominated on the island.
I just remember us just kids from our school having beef with kids from other schools. Like you might go to the next town over and it'd be a whole other school, and you might, end up having beef with somebody over there at a party, and now all of a sudden, like, you've got beef with that person's whole clique in their school, and they found out what school you went to, and then it would kind of be like, this kind of cliquey school beef, you know what I mean? Like where you and your boys now all of a sudden got beef with these kids from another school and from another town.
Yeah, excuse me. This cat got me sitting uncomfortable in my own freaking chair. So part of the high school experience, something that I noticed I don't want to say that I noticed it in high school. I probably noticed this later on in life, is that there are people that peak in high school.
Yeah.
I personally was not one of those people because my life was all over the place in high school. I feel like, and when I say peak, I mean people who feel like they're at their prime in high school, and then like after that it's like wah, wah, wah.
Not only that, but either they stay right there, and they never change from who they were, like personality wise and visually from high school.
Visually, that is such a big thing. Like it kind of blows my mind. So talking a little bit about people who peak in high school, one of the things that I've noticed is that, and I said it earlier in the hour, was people who still will reminisce about being in high school. And what I mean by reminisce is that they'll be, 30, 40 years old, still posting pictures of them when they were in high school, when they're like maybe they looked a certain way, or they did things a certain way, whether maybe they were in sports or maybe academically they were like at their peak,
those are their glory days.
I find that so interesting because to peak at such a young age and then never really continue your journey, and then just like your life just kind of just becomes a day in and day out thing,
right? And
that potentially have been the most exciting point in your life. Well, I'm like kind of mind blown by that.
I mean, it seems that there's a disconnect from the self-development that happens. The self-developing that you do when you're in high school. You're very much about yourself, your social life, your style, like who you are and who you are as a person, and the things that you're interested in, and your morals and what you represent, and all the stuff, and your social status, and all that stuff is very big in high school. And then when you leave high school, it's almost like you don't have that anymore.
You don't have that click, that connection.
That's that drive. That's that thing that keeps you on your toes. You know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden, like that's not there no more, and it's really up to that person to keep self-developing themselves. Their lives develop where they leave and they start to careers and things like that. But it seems like almost like there's an outward focus becomes apparent, where they start focusing and building everything around them, but not building themselves in the process. You know what I mean?
I totally understand what you're saying. I think something that I found really interesting was once upon a time when I had Facebook, which I despise, there was a group formed on Facebook, like a high school group, and like people were trying to like add me to this group. I was like, I'm like none of you mofos. Like we went to high school. That shit is over with. I have my besties and my friends. I don't need to like be friends with anybody from high school, especially people that I knew in high school. We were not cool. And when I tell you that I was cool with everybody, if you weren't cool with me, it was honestly because you were like on the defense. Because I was one of those people in high school where like I gave no fucks. Yeah. I wore what I wanted to wear. I did what I wanted to do. I listened to what I like. I was from the hood, but I listened to rock music. I listened to hip hop. I dress kind of goth sometimes. I dress really hood sometimes. Like I literally did not give a shit. And I'm still that person still to this day. But because people in high school will really stay within their like comfort zone, right, it almost seemed to them like I was weird. So they were just kind of like not cool with me. And I was like, yo, that's what you want to do. And I find it that a lot of those people are the people that like high school was their peak. And I see them in these groups talking about like school 20 years ago. I'm like, is this what we're talking about right now? You talking about prom from 20 years ago, my dude?
I think it definitely has a lot to do with what I was saying. And I was actually fortunate enough that the people that I hung out with was my brother and his friends. So I never really like clicked or made like friends with anybody from my grade. Like when I went to high school, I associated myself with all of them, and we, that's where I engaged with all the people in high school. But outside of school, I never hung out with any of those people. I would hang out with my brother and all his older friends.
Again, definition of evil. Evil was a PIMP. This dude went to prom 6 times, hung out with nobody from his school.
All older people.
And only hung out with older people. Yo, who are you?
And when I was a sophomore,
Here we go.
This really put me over the top, right? So when I was a sophomore, I started dating a senior in high school.
Okay, I'm done. I'm just done.
I definitely leveled up a few levels like instantly when that happened. Like that was just unheard of, where you would have a sophomore dating a senior.
So Mark says, we had a rival school called Aikido, and whenever we played them at football, it just used to turn into a boxing match. Holy shit. And then he also says, hot girls at school now have like 6 kids, haven't moved on from high school, but nerdy girls are beautiful girls. And that is what I'm talking about, peaking in high school. The hot chicks, they reach their peak, and then it's just like, womp, womp, womp. And I honestly don't understand that phenomenon.
But it's a real thing.
I know it is a real thing, but I don't understand how that phenomenon happens. And then Stephanie says, every single popular big shot bully in my high school peaked. It's laughable now. I love that people are able to make this connection that it tends to be the most popular people that they then just kind of, I don't know what happens to them, because I was popular, but I was like a different type of popular. I was like a popular, like where I was just cool with everybody, but like I wasn't cliquey popular. And then Mark says, people at high school think that school status will stay with them after school, but that's not reality. Life changes so much, and the real life and real friends turn up after school. Evo was hitting it and quitting it.
I mean,
look at his face.
I'm not. I cannot confirm or deny that statement, Mark. So we're just gonna have to move on to that.
Yeah.
But they did that. That was in the Queen's Gambit, where. Remember, she was in school, and there was like that popular girl, and
oh yes, and then she bumped in the Queen's Gambit. She bumped into her in the grocery store / liquor store, and the girl had like 2 babies, and she had like 14 bottles of alcohol in her bag, and she was looking at the girl like, oh my god, how have you been? She's like, I'm actually really great. I'm like traveling the world, like playing chess, demolishing motherfuckers. And you seem like you got your hands full right now. She was like, yeah, I'm about to go home and get drunk and take care of these 3 kids.
But meanwhile, in high school, she was the popular one. She was the pretty one. She was the one that was most sought after.
Yeah, I was definitely not the one most sought after in high school. Again, I had a baby in high school, so that really just like took me out of the running. But I did find out later in years, I actually had a huge crush on the captain of my track team. And then years later, I found out through Facebook that he also had a crush on me. And
isn't that crazy?
He actually said that I was intimidating to him because I was just so cool. And I was like, really? Did not feel that way. I thought you were the epitome of cool back then. Meanwhile, we never said a word to each other because we were both so definitely afraid of each other. That was my high school experience. But having a baby in high school, the one plus of that, and then we'll move on to our top 5 for the night, was I got an elevator pass because I was pregnant. And my good friend Melissa, she would hop on the elevator pass. She'd be like, Gene, you got the elevator pass? We about to ride up to the 4th floor. That was my only privilege, being pregnant. I went to school. Until the last day of school, and then I gave birth that July. So I was 8 months pregnant in high school. So that was my high school experience, just to share a little bit with you ladies and gentlemen. But let's move on to our top 5 for tonight, because initially Eva and I had spoke about, we were like, in high school, what was something that you enjoyed in high school? And we talked about
school lunches.
We talked about school lunches, and then we were like, nah. We actually think what's really cool is the food you used to fuck up after school.
After school, when you got home, like that's what really was hitting. And so, all of a sudden, I just started like having a what is it? Mark says Eva was smashing and laughing.
Oh no. Oh yeah. But Edgar says, like my titi taught me, testosterone isn't just a hormone, it's a mind controlling disease, and that disease was rampant in an all boys school. Shit.
Yeah, I could imagine. There we used to have there was an all girls school 2 towns over that we used to stay trying to get over there, like especially like when they had the dances. We used to try to sneak over there, try to see if we can get in there, but it never happened. There was dudes that used to get in there, but I never was able to get in there. Maybe lucky for them. All right, so starting off, coming into our top 5, these are the top 5 microwave dinners.
Oh, just dinners?
Well, microwavable meals, but I would call them microwave dinners, like the frozen ones.
Okay, but what I'm asking you, it's just dinners, like it's meals that you would only eat at dinner time.
Mainly, but like that you would eat at dinner, but that you would make in the microwave.
Okay, because. Then I have an honorable mention later on, because one of the meals that I used to smash was not dinner.
Okay. Well, coming in at number 5 is.
I'm excited for these. Wait, before you say number 5, a full disclosure, Evo has been doing the top 5 100% without me the last 2 weeks because I just like have not been available, and these are. I have no idea what Evo's about to. I have no idea what's about to happen.
Yeah, coming in at number 5 was like the most easiest thing that you could eat, and you had this thing stacked up in your house, all different types of flavors. I mean, you had your favorite, but at the end of the day, I mean, it was like 1, 2, 3, like ready to go, and you eat this thing and you'll be satisfied, and that was Chef Boyardee.
Wait, what? You put Chef Boyardee in the microwave?
Hell yeah. I wasn't cooking nothing over the stove. I put that shit in a bowl and just heat it up in the microwave. But you see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was. You were heating up Chef Boyardee?
Yeah, I used to take it out the can and put it in like a little pot and heat it up.
Oh hell no!
When you said this, when the description you gave, a totally different thing came to my mind. I'd like
to hear about that.
Okay. I wrote a song about it. Like to hear it go.
Well,
okay, wait. But let's not get it twisted. I smashed some Chef Boyardee.
Hell yeah! Especially this was my favorite. Was the beefaroni.
Beefaroni. I honestly think that this is a Hispanic thing. I think every Hispanic loves beefaroni because, like, and listen, I apologize ahead of time. But my white friends, they always like the spaghetti and meatballs.
Yo, that was,
you
know what?
It was the nastiest one to me.
My top 3 was the beefaroni, the ravioli, and then the spaghetti and meatballs.
Hello, in that specific order. Beefaroni, ravioli, then spaghetti.
You know why? Because this reminds us of the Spanish pasta with the meat in it.
Look at my face. I just saw my face on the live. I just made the most disgusting face. So Stephanie says, I must have missed that lunch topic. I went to school before they proceeded food. Homemade enchiladas, rice, beans, and chocolate cake every Wednesday.
At her school?
I'm not sure if Stephanie, I'm not sure if you're saying that in your school they weren't giving lunch and you brought homemade food. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, because our high school lunch was a hot mess.
And then Mark says, we had all girls Catholic school near us. That was the perfect challenge. And yeah, I may have completed that challenge.
There you go.
Mark.
That's what's up, Mark.
Let me find out that you a PIMP. And then Stephanie says, a hot dog on a gas stove with a little burnt marks on a tortilla. And then Edgar says, I put shredded cheese on top of Chef Boyardee, put it in the microwave. I was in heaven.
Ooh, that sounds kind of good. I never thought to try that.
And then Mark says, never heard of beefaroni, but over here the Bombay Bad Boy spicy pot noodle, gorgeous.
Okay.
We need to go. We need to go to Europe because honestly,
it's a whole nother vibe out there.
I'm assuming the reason why Mark has never had beefaroni is because it's probably illegal.
It's probably illegal as fuck, Mark. Like they're not. You guys are not eating the shit that they're feeding us over here.
Yes, because I just recently learned from a podcast that there are in the United States, the chemicals that are considered non-consumable by humans there are only 11 that are completely outlawed in the United States. In Europe, there are 1,100.
Yeah. These corporations out here, they out to kill us. And the government is letting them.
Mark, that is probably why you have never had fucking beefaroni.
That's why you had that Bombay spicy pot noodle, because that shit sound like it's popping.
Because in United States, they were trying to kill people with a can.
I will fuck up some spicy pop noodle. That shit sound good as hell.
You just called it like 3 different things.
Did
you
I?
said Bombay spicy pop noodle.
That's what it says. Look, it says Bombay Bad Boy spicy pot noodle.
With the drool face.
That just sounds delicious. Just saying it.
It really does. So Stephanie says, our high school would make homemade enchiladas, rice and beans, and chocolate cake every Wednesday. I remember that food in the cafeteria before the processed food.
And you thought my high school was
Stephanie.
Damn, Stephanie.
I think you went to a fancy school because in my school we was getting nasty ass fucking like hoagies.
That shit sound like some IKEA cafeteria type shit, yo.
Yo, IKEA food slap.
You had the Swedish meatballs over there? Stephanie, let me know.
I can't believe you said beefaroni. Yeah, I definitely used to heat up beefaroni on the stove, but I probably definitely have no, wait. I used to heat up beefaroni in the microwave when they started making them in the microwavable little containers. Yeah. That's when that was way after high school.
All right.
But go ahead.
This next one right here.
Our number 4 spot.
This right here, when I saw this, it kind of hurt to know that I used to fuck these things up, bro.
Oh, shit.
And this right here is your typical hungry man, like big meal.
Meatloaf, some concoction of meat.
Yeah, I just, you know what's funny is that I saw this and my first thought was, right? But then I thought back on like how many times I'll crack open a box and pull this out and be like, I can't wait to fuck this shit up, yo.
And then you put it in the microwave like 3 times because the green beans were still cold.
Or the patty was still frozen in the middle. Or they had the ones with the chicken in it. And it was like full pieces of chicken.
That shit wasn't chicken.
And then listen, and it was fried chicken that was supposed to be crispy, but because it was in this thing, like it
was soggy, oily. But you still ate it.
I still ate that shit.
You still ate it.
I still fucked that shit up. that shit was gourmet as hell for me.
You were reminiscing so hard right now
I'm
about how you peeled that oily ass skin back.
Thinking about you peel the freaking the cellophane off and it's all like hot and steamy and like all.
You have to poke it with a fork.
Yup. I'd always check the mashed potatoes and make sure that there was no frozen bits in the middle
because there would be a little block of ice right in the middle of it. How insane is this that we ate this shit?
Just looking at it it gives me like a little bit of nausea. But when I think back on when I used to eat it
was amazing.
I remember how good it used to taste.
It was Eva, look at me.
Yo.
It was amazing.
Yo, this shit had some fucking, whatever flavors in it and fucking I don't know what the hell they put
it was a manifestation of like the best thing you ever had, but was slowly killing you. But we had no clue. And we come from a generation where we were considered the latchkey kids, where our parents were out working, so this is what we were eating.
Yeah.
Because our parents could not be home to feed us. So we felt like we were privileged because we could open the freezer and take out one of these meals and eat them.
Yep. And it was like, it was everything you needed right in the package.
Yeah. I want to read some comments. So, Mark says, you need to come to the UK and when you do, hit me up. I'll show you around, but the best pubs and restaurants and bars in England and especially London.
That would be dope.
That would be so dope, especially when Europe opens. We need to get our little vaccinations because I believe that in order to travel to Europe, you're going to need to be fully vaccinated. And then Edgar says, LOL Evo rocking the Salisbury steak hungry man.
Yup. I used to kill that, the Salisbury steak, the gravy, and then sometimes it will come with the marshmallows, with the mushrooms on it.
Oh my God. And then Edgar says, Mark says, wow, that looks disgusting, but probably would be a great hangover food.
You know what? That's interesting.
And then Stephanie says, yo, cute little Mexicans in the cafeteria, always good. 10th grade shit changed.
Yo, I want to know what high school you went to.
Stephanie, just remind us where you're from, like what region you're from, because obviously it's different from where we were. I'd like to know
what county you live in.
But like, that sounds freaking amazing to me. That food sounds amazing. Okay, so that was number 4. Let's move on to number 3.
Right, so coming in at number 3, this is just something that I used to fuck up all the time, and it was one of my favorite things to eat. Every time my dad bought this, I would literally, it was like my go-to thing. And I think this is like typically everybody loves this, but
it better be number 3. Better be what I think it is. Because if it's not, I'm gonna be.
It's probably not what you think it is, because we obviously have different upbringings and things that we ate when we were growing up. But number 3 for me was microwavable mac and cheese.
Okay, that's definitely not what I thought.
That's not what I thought it was.
No, but I would concur that.
And one of my
Stouffer's macaroni and cheese. That's just.
And one of my favorite things about this is that the cheese would get burnt and crispy around the edges, and that shit would get like extra crispy. And for some reason, when you burnt it, it would be extra salty, and I was like a fucking salt addict. Like I salted everything I ate.
Wait, are you still not a salt addict?
Not as bad as not as bad as I used to be.
Yeah, well, Evil likes to put salt on everything. It's almost insulting.
Yeah, insulting.
You like my joke? Insulting.
That was good. Yeah. So what did you think it was?
I'm not gonna tell you because it could still be on this list.
Okay.
So, but if you don't mention it in the next two, then I will tell you what I thought it was.
I do have an honorable mention too. So
okay.
We both have.
So,
but yeah, Stouffer's macaroni and cheese. This shit right here hit different. Actually, this shit right here was better than some homemade mac and cheeses that I've tasted in my lifetime. I would rather eat this shit right here over countless homemade macaroni and cheeses that I've had.
I would firmly disagree with that on my end, but I hear you.
You can't tell me that you've went somewhere and had macaroni and cheese.
No, not the circles that I rolled in. Nobody was making trash macaroni and cheese. Maybe on your side, but not on my side.
Yeah, I dated a couple white girls that couldn't cook.
We're gonna get canceled for that, Evo.
I said it. Listen, it was my experience. I'm not making this up.
We are gonna get canceled for that because Evo said something, and like they're gonna come for us now, Evo. They already tried to cancel me because I said a Jewish woman played a Latina role.
I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Edgar says, I was a latchkey kid. I learned how to warm up food in the oven before my abuela taught me how to really cook. And Mark says, I thought we had bad food over here. As a kid, I used to look forward to coming home to beans on toast with a little sausage in them. That actually sounds amazing. Yeah. It sounds like something I used to eat. And then Stephanie says San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Thus the little Mexicans in the in the
now
kitchen.
It makes sense.
It's
all coming together.
Making tortillas because and by the way, I apologize. Last live I pronounced I said Vasquez and it's Vasquez.
Vasquez.
But you didn't correct me, so don't act like you knew any different.
I'm not correcting you now. I'm just repeating.
But you just said like you knew. You didn't know. And then Edgar says, sorry, I cooked the Velveeta or the Kraft mac and cheese and added bacon bits in it. Hey, yo, Edgar adding cheese and bacon.
Big ups to you, my brother. I
this
have
shit
nobody.
Sounds like a
there was
party
nobody
time.
Home teaching me how to cook, man. My dad was working 16 hours a day, slapping microwave dinners in the refrigerator and leaving money on the counter so that I could have money when I went to school, so I could buy something. That was it.
Yeah, but honestly, like I'm telling you, you felt like you balled out because of that.
Oh, hell yeah! Listen, there was never no shortage of microwave food in my house. That's for certain.
Same thing in my house. My dad, when we went food shopping, when he bought microwavable meals, and he bought the ones that I felt like that were a little bit more expensive, like they were on sale like 4 for $10. I'd be like, "Ooh, Daddy, can we get those? Can we get 4 of these?" And I'm not gonna say what they are because we still have 2 spots left, and I know what one of them are, but one of them I don't know what it is, and I'm a little concerned. But I'm gonna let you continue. Okay. Let's move on to a number 2.
Coming in at number 2. It's only coming in like it comes in perfectly next to number 3.
Okay.
Right?
Macaroni and cheese? Okay.
It comes in perfectly next to macaroni and cheese because it's on the pasta side. And this again was one of my favorites. This was like, for me, was like low key. When I ate this, I felt like I was eating fancy gourmet. Right? And that was Stouffer's lasagna with meat sauce.
Wow. I used to fuck that shit up on the regular. And let me tell you, I would get some white bread and put some butter on it. I really thought I was balling.
Oh, hell yeah. You had to have the white bread with the butter on it.
The what?
The white bread with the butter on it.
I'm going to replay that back because sometimes I say, I look at you.
It sounded like I said white bed with the butter. Is that what it sounded like I said?
I don't know what you said. You said when you had that white bread with the butter.
The white bread with the butter. As a matter of fact, I had some white bread with butter tonight with my pasta. keeping it real.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it real.
Stouffer's lasagna.
Oh my God, I used to.
How about? And I apologize to my 2 children, my 2 oldest children. How about I used to buy the family version of this and throw it in the oven, and I was like, I was like, yo, mommy made dinner. I apologize that I was feeding you guys this processed BS, but that shit slapped.
What?
Stouffer's lasagna was amazing.
Stouffer's did their thing on that one. I'm not.
And I just want you to know that Stouffer's lasagna was something when your parents fed it to you or when they bought it, you thought that you had money because the Stouffer's was the higher end, because the lower end was the hungry.
You know what I used to do to make it real fancy? So like on some days, I would just throw it in the microwave and I would eat it out the dish. But then other days I would scoop it out and put it on a plate.
Oh.
And then go sit down in front of the TV and the table like I just made lasagna. I feel like a boss.
Man, kids of this generation will never know, man.
No, they don't know.
They will never know.
They have no idea.
Oh my God. So Mark says they won't cancel evil as a white man. I'll back you up, brother.
There you go, bro. Appreciate that.
And then Eddie says, and Eddie, welcome to the stream. Yo, what's up with some French bread pizza or bagel bites?
I don't know. We're gonna talk about that.
We still got one more spot. I said that I wasn't gonna say anything until Evil finished this, because right now I still have two things that he has not mentioned that I'm fucking mind blown by right now. But I'm gonna let him rock. Right. And then Mark says, lasagna will always be one of my favorite meals, especially with garlic bread. Man, that some sexy ass food right there.
There you go. Finally, one thing that me, you, and Mark, we all eat the same of.
Yeah, but I feel like Mark is talking about real lasagna. He's not talking about no Stouffer's lasagna.
No microwavable lasagna, Mark?
No, I think he's talking about like legit ass lasagna.
You got that official tissue lasagna.
Yeah, some legit
out there, right?
ass lasagna with like some real garlic bread from the I don't know, local Italian spot.
Yeah, well, that shit hit too.
That
shit hit too.
So let's go to our number one spot, because I'm a little antsy right now because you haven't mentioned this one thing that I'm like, oh my God, about right now.
All right. Well, hopefully I fulfill
number one. Here. Eva, I want to drink your drink.
No, please don't. Coming in at number one is yeah, I'm gonna fuck you up. You know that, right?
Oh shit! Go. Say number one.
Keep fucking with me. Coming in at number one is this shit right here was so special because I felt like I could never get this anywhere else. Mm-hmm. I could only get it in a microwave dinner.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
And this shit was fancy because you couldn't make this in the microwave. You had to step it up.
Okay.
And use the toaster oven. Stouffer's French bread pizza.
Yo, Eddie, there it is for you.
There it is, Eddie.
That is the number one spot.
This shit right here was my number one microwavable dinner. But I tell you what, this shit was so good that I would take the time out to make it in the toaster oven because it just was that much better. So
instead of 5 minutes, you waited 15 minutes.
I waited 15 minutes because I knew when that motherfucker came out, that shit was going to be mean. And you couldn't get this shit in no pizzeria. You wasn't going to no pizzeria and getting no French bread pizza. Hell no. So I felt like a super boss because I was making that shit at home and nobody could have that shit unless you went to the supermarket and you actually got this and you made it yourself in the toaster oven. Okay,
so now I'm just going to tell you. You mentioned Stouffer's French bread pizza. You mentioned Stouffer's lasagna. You mentioned Stouffer's macaroni and cheese. Yeah. There's one other Stouffer's. It's not an honorable mention, but remember when I told you I felt like I balled out if my parents bought this? If you get like 4 for $10, it was the Stouffer's chicken with mashed potatoes.
Oh yeah,
with the gravy.
Well, you know what I wanted to say? I honestly felt that Stouffer's anything.
Yes.
Same thing with Chef Boyardee. Chef Boyardee, anything.
Yes.
You know.
I firmly agree with you. Yeah. I am very happy with the number one spot, but there are 2 honorable mentions that I'm implored to say right now. How the hell did you not say Hot Pockets? Holy shit.
But Hot Pockets wasn't a dinner.
No,
Hot Pockets was more like a snack. Okay. So that's why I thought about it.
You said meals.
I thought, yeah, it's like
you didn't eat Hot Pockets as a meal?
Not as a meal. I would eat a Hot Pocket just to eat a Hot Pocket.
I got a couple. I'm sorry. I actually have 3.
And the Hot Pockets, I would also put those in the toaster oven.
Okay. Hot Pockets, I would put 2. I would eat 2 of them shits. My second thing, White Castle hamburgers?
Okay, so my honorable mention is big ass bacon addict burgers.
Okay. Those you could not buy in the supermarket in my neighborhood. Those are the cheeseburgers that you got from the bodega at 3:00 in the morning.
These you can get them in. My dad would bring these home, and in addition to that, you would get these in the vending machines, right? You could go to a vending machine.
Where in jail?
No, here in Jersey.
Oh.
Right? You can go to a vending machine, and some of the vending machines will make them hot for you, and you can get out the vending machine hot. This mystery
in Jersey, where in school
burger. I don't remember exactly where I used to get them, but I remember I used to get them.
The only time I've ever seen that type of burger in a machine was when I went to go visit somebody in prison.
Yo, this shit right here, when you would make this shit in the microwave, because the bread was frozen, the heat from the microwave would and the frozen bun, it would turn soft and hard at the same time. Like the outer edges of it would be hard because like the moisture would would bake out of it, and it would turn hard. And in the middle of the bread would still be soft because it was the center. And then so you would have to like chew through like this outer hard layer into the soft center layer. But again, this shit was so packed full of MSG and all types of fucking crazy flavors that you would just eat the shit. I don't even. I'm surprised I'm not dead right now because as many of these things that I've eaten in my life. Yeah.
That shit clogged up your arteries at age 14.
You notice that this should say big ass, right? Big ass. Like this is a play on words right here. This shit was a big ass bacon addict burger.
Wait. So my last honorable mention is kid cuisine breakfasts. Have you never had a kid cuisine breakfast where it came with 3 pancakes and 2 sausages?
No.
Holy shit. I would eat those after school because it was a meal to me. Like it was just something that I could make. So it came with 3 pancakes and 2 sausages.
No.
Oh my God. Those. It's basically a McDonald's breakfast microwave.
That's what it sounds like to me, and I would generally get the McDonald's breakfasts.
Oh yeah, well, we didn't have, we didn't have it like that. So I came home and I would eat that, and I have a very vivid memory of my friend Melissa. One time, maybe we did or maybe we didn't smoke a little bit of marijuana, and then we went back to my house and I broke out a kid cuisine breakfast, and she reached over and took one of my sausages, and our friendship almost ended.
Wow.
Because you know how I feel about people touching my food, and I looked at her like, let that be the last time you ever do that in our entire existence.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough because my dad was never home to cook breakfast. That he would always leave like $5 or $6 on the counter, and on my way to school, I'd stop at the deli and get a bacon, egg, and cheese, or a pork roll, egg and cheese.
You wasn't getting no bacon, egg and cheese. You was getting a pork roll, egg and cheese.
I was getting either or, but at one point, I really went ham with the bacon, egg, with the pork roll, egg and cheese. Like it was really.
Is that a pun? You went ham.
I went ham with it. I went ham
because I
I found the spot where they would cut the slices extra thick, and they would put 3 of those bad boys on there. Man.
If ladies and gentlemen, if you would have seen Evo like 10, 15 years ago, y'all would have been mind blown.
Let me tell you something. After I met Gina,
he was like a fat kid loves cake.
I went all in. I found out this woman could cook. What?
So Mark says, what in the name of crazy mofo sexy ass meals is that? I need some of that shiznit. I need that now. So Edgar says, yes, sir. And you can add more ingredients depending on the type of pizza you get. I added extra cheese, mushrooms, and olives.
That's what I'm talking about.
So Mark says, you need to try steak and ale pie with beef gravy. And Edgar saying he added olives, capers, onions, peppers. He went nuts.
God damn, Edgar. My boy like to eat.
Edgar sounds like he's just like, I put cheese on it. I put bacon on it. I put you were just chefing it up. I think
Edgar be like, remix.
Edgar may be in the wrong field. I know he's an educator, but you have like a simmering chef somewhere in there. And then Mark says, when it comes to burgers and Americans do it best. And then White Castle burgers had to be baked, and they and they cleaned out your colon. And then Mark says, McDonald's breakfast is the best thing McDonald's does, in my opinion. I'm going to agree with that. Yeah, but I will say I did love a Big Mac once upon a time. And Ronald McDonald guy knows how to do breakfast.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so I'm so surprised that you didn't say Hot Pockets. When you described,
I thought about it.
When your first description of number 5, you were like, it came in all flavors. I was like, ooh, there was cheese and ham, there was cheese and pizza.
Yeah, you know what it is? If I looked back in my lifetime, I definitely ate way more Chef Boyardee's than I ate Hot Pockets, and so that was the deciding factor on those two.
I fucked up Hot Pockets.
I did too.
Oh my God.
It was like a short phase of my life. Chef Boyardee, like I ate for a long time after, and even when we were feeding him to our kids, I was still eating it.
Yes, and when I have such vivid memories of Hot Pockets that I think about how I would eat them. I would eat them out the microwave, and you would bite into them, and you'd be like, but you would still eat it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the memories of disgusting processed microwave food.
Those were the days.
Now my bougie ass strolls through Whole Foods aisles like, it's not organic.
Wait, can we go get the arugula pizza?
Right?
With the
my
tomato
God.
and the basil dressing on it.
Our daughter asks for that by name. She's like, Mommy, can we go get pizza at Whole Foods? I'm like, what have I created? Are you sure you don't want Chef Boyardee? She's never eaten that. She's never eaten Chef Boyardee. She's never eaten microwave macaroni and cheese.
She definitely dodged the bullet with that one for sure.
Anthony and Mateo, I apologize because you had mouthfuls of that stuff, but maybe that's why they're so strong. So,
right.
Wait, hold on a second. Edgar says, want me to cook? I can throw down. I believe you because you have spoken quite often on this live, Edgar, about your family members, especially your abuela cooking. So I could imagine your cooking skills are on another level. We only recently got a Taco Bell over here. I freaking love it, especially the burritos. I'm sorry, Mark is saying that they just recently got a Taco Bell over there.
Yo, we used to fuck up some Taco Bell too.
Well, I used to work for Taco Bell,
yes.
And because I know their process, I felt like Taco Bell was actually one of the places that you could eat that wasn't horrible because a lot of their stuff was fresh, like their salad, like their lettuce, their tomatoes. We used to have to cut it in the morning. That was part of our process. So, but what I will say is that the meat that you're eating from Taco Bell is probably not grade A.
That shit mystery as fuck.
A little bit of info. The same meat that they use for Taco Bell is actually the same meat that they use for like dog food. It's just that low grade of chopped meat. That's just what it is. And I'm not saying that like Uber Canuba and Taco Bell are eating the same thing. I just mean that it's just like that chopped meat that you're getting, like the barrel and the whatever seasoned meat. Because it would come in a bag and it would come pre-seasoned and we would just heat it. But it's everything
not sold in stores, Jan, because it's a piece of crap.
But everything else was fresh.
Yeah.
The tacos, the shells, the lettuce.
They had to cut costs one way or another because that, as cheap as that shit was, there's something that wasn't real about it.
Okay, I actually really enjoyed that. I was just so surprised that you didn't say Hot Pockets, but that's fine because everything else you said, literally every Stouffer's meal, I would potentially still fuck that shit up today.
Yo,
but I wouldn't. But I would.
Like Mark said, it was definitely a good either coming home from the club. Drunk, wanting to like put something in my stomach, probably. I don't know about it like next morning, but definitely something I would eat if I was drunk.
Nowadays, Evo and I, you know what we fancy? The croissants from Costco.
Oh, man, listen.
If you have not had the croissants from Costco,
you need to just realign yourself.
You need to figure out what you're doing with your life. You need to go see a spiritual guidance because the croissants from Costco are like on some other shit.
Those shit slap. You need to go get it costs $50 a year for membership of Costco, and even if you only get the croissants, the shit is worth it.
What if you only get the what?
If you only get the croissants. Croissants.
And Star, welcome to the stream. Yeah.
What up, Star?
And Mark says, "Oh, no more Taco Bell for me." Wait. I wonder why my dog wanted my burrito so bad. He was like, "Yo, is that Albert?" And Star says, "Oh, those Costco croissants are fire."
Yo, and let me tell you something. Yo, we put that shit.
They're dangerous.
We put that shit in the air fryer for like 30 seconds. Oh my goodness.
Yo,
if you ever had a croissant from Starbucks, you liking the way I'm saying that? That shit hit different, right? I sound like me and Mark. We best friends. Like I just came from overseas. Like
oh my god, Evil said, "If you ever had a croissant,
you ever had a croissant? You ever had it from Starbucks? You know what a nice heated crispy croissant taste like. And we get the ones from Costco, and I think you get like 12
for $5 fucking dollars.
$5, and these ain't no mini croissants like the Pillsbury Doughboy ones that you get at the supermarket. Like, these are fucking big ass croissants.
Yeah.
And you just heat them shits up, make them nice and crispy on the outside, soft.
3 minutes in the air fryer,
fluffy on the
you
inside.
will have that with a cup of coffee.
Oh man, listen.
Matter of fact, oh look, so Mark says, wow, we're getting so posh. Croissants with some caviar? And then Edgar says, I've experienced those croissants from Costco. They rock.
Them shits hit.
And then Stephanie says, growth. And then Eddie says, your croissants from Costco are bomb. I toast them and add over an easy egg over easy with bacon. Perfection.
Yo.
You don't know how many times after this live, and this is BTS, ladies and gentlemen. After this live, Evo and I have gone upstairs and made sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant. Whoo! And then Mark says, Evo's nailing the accent. He needs to come have a night out with me because his action will have us picking up chicks all night.
I'm with it.
Evo's the best wingman.
I'll be your wingman, Mark. We could do that for
Evo's
sure.
the best wingman, and I will say I'm also the best wing lady.
Yeah, you are.
Because I'm just like hyping motherfuckers up, and I'm just like, oh, you having a good time? Okay, see you later. But that actually brings us to our last segment of the night, yes, which I'm actually pretty excited to get into. So we're once a month now, we're going to play this game basically called 21 Questions. We're really not going to ask each other 21 questions, but we would love for you, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, to join in with us on these questions that we are going to ask each other, but we would love to know your answers to these questions.
You can't look over here.
I'm not going to look.
You know what? Hold on.
Oh God, here we go. But what I'm saying is that I'm kind of excited for these questions because I think I have some fire ass questions for you. And I actually asked one of the questions to a coworker today, and the answer they gave me had me all the way out.
I'm interested.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. I want you to go first. And again, please join in with us. When we ask each other these questions, please give us your answers because we would love to hear them.
Okay, so.
Oh, God. I'm almost afraid at this point.
My first question is, would you rather eat shit that tastes like chocolate or eat chocolate that tastes like shit?
Wow, my questions are so different.
Mine are a little on the extreme side.
Okay.
So think about this. It's actual crap. Texture-wise and everything. But it tastes like chocolate.
Oh, wait. Say that to me one more time.
Would you rather eat shit that tastes like chocolate or eat chocolate that tastes like crap? So the chocolate tastes like crap, but it's not actual crap. But the crap is actual crap, but it tastes like chocolate.
I'm gonna say that crap that tastes like chocolate. Yeah. Because if the crap tastes like chocolate, then I'm not really eating crap. I'm eating chocolate.
No, it just tastes like chocolate.
Yeah, but it's chocolate.
But it's crap.
Okay, it's just chocolate that looks like crap.
Okay, I'm not gonna judge you on that.
Why would you judge me on that? You fucking asked me the question.
You're eating shit. From now, I'm gonna just fuck with you from now on. Like, eat shit, Gina.
Okay. Mark says, let's do this. I've never had a wingman and a woman at the same time. I normally do okay, but with you guys, I can't lose. And then Edgar says, question number 1, ladder from the former. And Star says, chocolate that tastes like shit. I don't want to eat people's parasites. And then Eddie,
I'm not going to judge you, dude. It was a setup. Either way, you were screwed.
It's disgusting either way. And then Star says, chocolate tastes like shit. Oh, wait, she said that. So Eddie says, eat shit that tastes like chocolate, of course. Sancocho looks like some motherfucking slop. But it's so good. Eddie, that is so fucking valid.
100% true.
That is so valid. And then Edgar says, spoiled chocolate tastes like, what's that say? Tastes like
shit.
Like tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And Star says, Gina, you rather eat shit? Star, listen, we still gonna be friends after this. But I'm just not even looking at it like it's shit. If you tell me that it tastes like chocolate, but I don't want to eat chocolate that tastes like shit, because then I'm gonna feel like I'm actually putting shit in my mouth.
But you're just eating chocolate. It just tastes like shit, but you're eating chocolate. You're eating shit.
But doesn't matter.
It tastes like chocolate.
But it's shit that tastes like chocolate. So would you? But like would you rather?
I think that you're overlooking like the reality of it. Like everything that's in shit, you're eating it. It just tastes like chocolate.
Okay. I just want you to know that I think, and Star says that I have a doo-doo mouth.
That is true.
I just think that our questions are so different. I'm almost afraid. But I'm going to go ahead and ask you my question.
Oh, my God. You're afraid. Jesus.
I'm afraid.
Okay. I'm scared.
You ready?
I guess so.
Okay. What is something you thought was stupid when you were young, but now makes total sense?
Something I thought was stupid when I was young, but now makes total sense. Fuck.
I got you on this one.
Yeah, it just requires like a lot, like a deep amount of thought.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta think back.
The minute I wrote this question, something came to my mind right away when I wrote it. But go ahead, I'm gonna wait. And then while you think about that, I'm gonna read some comments. So Mark says, does it matter who shit it is? So you drink someone's blood if it tastes like Kool-Aid? Star, don't add to evil's bullshit. And then Edgar says, stop reading the comments and think about my question.
I got an answer to it. But I just,
you want to eat something that came out of an asshole? Really? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, stop judging me. Okay? I said, what's the difference? You're gonna eat chocolate that tastes like crap in your mouth anyway. You're just not gonna tell anybody. I'm not ashamed of myself.
She was like, that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Star says bedtime. I hated that shit when I was young.
I was just about to say like a curfew. I thought a curfew was dumb as hell when I was young.
Wow, she just said that.
Yeah, but it makes sense now that I'm older.
So I'm just gonna share with you what I thought made absolutely no sense to me when I was younger, but now I totally understand it. I never understood why older women wore like nightgowns to bed. I was like, why are they wearing these ugly ass big t-shirt looking nightgowns? And I'm like, oh shit, now I get it. Makes total sense.
Because titties be tittying.
And you got to air that shit out.
Titties be tittying.
But when I was young, I was like, this is stupid. Go put on some pants and a t-shirt and be normal.
Nah, they bata the fuck out.
Bata, a muumuu, whatever the fuck you want. A house robe. Just anything that you could just walk free in. Now I get it. All right. So what's... Oh, wait. Hold on. Mark says, nothing makes sense now. In fact, the more life goes on, the less it makes sense.
That's the whole point of this segment.
But I love that Star says bedtime because now as an adult, we're just like, it's like 9:30. I'm fucking sleepy.
Let's go.
And just full disclosure, after this live, Evo and I go and rip these clothes off, put on our fucking old people pajamas and go right to sleep.
Either if we catch a show if we have one.
Yes.
And then we take it down.
Go ahead.
All right. Wait, let's read that last comment before we move on.
So Stephanie says, should be comfortable. I'd rather have on a bra than should be comfortable. I'd rather not have on a bra and let the girls be free. Exactly. But when I was younger, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
I was just like, why are they walking around with like the titties fucking tittying? And I didn't know that they didn't have panties on back then.
Yeah, they were just,
that's why I didn't understand.
Just free ball, or as a man would say, free balling.
Yeah, but women, we don't free ball, but we just airing that shit out. But now,
free tittying is what.
But now I get it. When you go to the doctor and she's like, sometimes you just gotta go to sleep, and you're just like, really? She's like,
just let it air dry. It's gotta air dry.
All right, what's your next question?
All right, so my next question is, would you rather be at the mercy of Cersei Lannister or Ramsay Bolton?
I would want to be at the mercy of Cersei Lannister because I personally think I could outwit her. And
really?
I think, yes, because I think Ramsay, and we're talking about Game of Thrones.
Yes, we are. Sorry.
Ramsay.
Well, just for FYI, for anybody who doesn't know, Cersei Lannister and Ramsay Bolton are two of the most savage characters in this show. I mean, they are ruthless, heartless, evil, like just
diabolical, like demonic, fucking throw you in a fire in a heartbeat type shit.
Will stab their own baby just to get ahead type of people.
Well, not Cersei, but Ramsay would.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said I would rather be at the mercy of her is because she was definitely more about the wits. She was more about like how she could outplay somebody. Ramsay was more about like how he could outpower somebody.
Yeah, I don't think there was no winning with him.
Yes, he was just and even if he felt like he could potentially rival you, he was gonna find a way to like belittle you as a person, but through like harm to you. Where Cersei she was gonna try to outwit you and potentially harm you. I think that I could potentially outwit Cersei because I'm just as evil bitch as she is.
I would like to know what the audience, how they feel and where they stand on this one.
But that's if people watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah, if anybody's watched Game of Thrones, you obviously know who Ramsay Bolton and Cersei Lannister are.
I can tell you right now, star and watch that shit.
Yeah, I would like to know what side of the mercy paddle would you like to lay under.
So
I myself would definitely go with Cersei, only because Ramsay, he's like the devil.
Yeah, but he got his.
Yeah, he got his.
So does she. He got his. Oh, I was so mad the way she went out. He
thrived off of like
torture. Yeah, pure torture.
He will fucking torture you until your last breath, and then try to drag that out, which is crazy.
So Mark says, we know what you and Evil are really gonna do after this live stream. Sorry to your son for reading this. And then Mark says, I still have not watched Game of Thrones.
All right. So
I would agree that like as many people as we think have watched it, there are many people that have not watched it.
I just thought that was an interesting decision to have to make if you had to be under the mercy of one. If you could decide whose mercy you wanted to be under.
Well, that's basically like saying, who would I be on the mercy of, Trump or Obama? Anyway.
Really?
Let's go on to my okay, here we go. You ready for my question?
Yes.
Because we have about a little less than 10 minutes. Because we are not going 2 hours tonight. What is something that you wish you knew before you started having sex?
What is something I wish I knew?
And I asked this question to the audience. What is something that you wish you knew before you started having sex? And this is the question that I asked to one of my coworkers today. And I will tell you what they told me after you answered this. And Edgar says, I can go with both damn villages to the fullest. Have I stumped you right now?
I can't say that I've like sat there and said to myself, damn, I wish I knew that before I started having sex.
Oh, there's so many things I could say about that.
I can't say that I have
Excuse me 1 second. Here goes Mr. PIMP here right now.
What the fuck? Why is it gotta be all that?
Evil literally just said he had the audacity to say that he didn't need to know anything about sex before you started having it.
The only thing I struggled with when I started having sex that I wish I knew.
What?
Okay, so there's one thing that I struggled with.
Okay.
All right. Yes, you're right. There's one thing I wish I knew how to do before I started having sex.
Okay.
And that was putting on a condom. The first time I had to put on a condom was the first time I had to put on a condom, and it was the first time I had sex.
So let me get this straight.
And I had no experience on putting on a condom.
Okay, so let me get this straight. I'm not going to assume, but I'm just going to say this, and you don't have to confirm nor deny. So your high school had all of these activities. Your high school had proms and senior smashes and all this shit, but they didn't have proper sex ed, because in my high school there was a full demonstration how a young man should put on a condom.
There was sex ed. I don't remember. I don't like vividly recall an actual demonstration on how to put on a condom. There was lots of talks about it, but nothing that I can recall that was like, oh, this is how you put on a condom. And even so
there was not a demonstration with some sort of like cucumber, carrot, or something that a sex ed teacher actually, because in my high school, teacher literally put one on a cucumber.
It's different. Like, so they put it for them putting one on and you actually doing yourself is different. It's not like like having the experience of actually handling one and putting one on is different than watching somebody do it. And I wish I would have had the experience at least of like handling one, because obviously, because when I did it, I seemed very nervous when I was doing it, because I didn't know what I was doing.
When you were doing what?
When I was putting on a condom.
Okay.
So like,
remember we talked about like,
yes. So the first time I had sex, I was putting on a condom. I seemed nervous while I was doing it because it was my first time handling one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like an awkward experience because the person could tell that I was nervous. You know, because I didn't know. Obviously, like, it wasn't something I just ripped open and just put on, like, you know, like I was putting on a pair of socks.
Oh, they wanted you to be a pro?
No, it's not even that.
Because they thought you were PIMP?
It was like they were just like, listen, are you okay? Like, do you want to stop? And I was like, nah, I'm good. Chill. DK, vamos, okay, who stop? Pa'l carajo.
So Eddie says, I wish I knew about good foreplay. Edgar says, I knew how to please a woman orally. And then Mark says, I kind of always learned from girls I was with what they liked and how to turn them on. Every girl is different and always love learning from them. He agreed with Sterling. I would agree with that he kind of had to adjust based on the woman that he was with.
Yeah. I had some pretty early experiences. So by the time like I got going, it wasn't all new to me.
So for me, I wish that I knew that not to preserve a man's ego. I wish that I knew that sex should be as equally pleasing to woman and man, and that it's not about a man achieving just his climax.
Right.
It's also about me achieving it. But as a young woman, I kind of thought that, like, because it's potentially easier for a man to achieve it, that I should like make him feel good about himself.
Interesting.
Bullshit.
I'm
just like, what's happening? This is not working. I gotta go. I wish I would have known that earlier on in life. But, you know, you live and you learn. So what is your last question for me? And then I have my last question for you.
My last question for you is, would you rather have a third nipple?
What are these?
Or an extra toe?
I'd rather have an extra toe. It's so much easier to hide it. That's such a simple question for me.
Yeah, but then when you have sex with somebody, you got to explain a third nipple. So like your intimacy is...
I said an extra toe.
I know. So, but... Oh, you would rather have an extra toe?
Yeah, so because it's easier to hide an extra toe than it is... Then I could have sex and keep my socks on.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did you not think of that?
I was just thinking about you always having your socks on.
And I'll make sure that my socks are cute.
I was just thinking about... Honey,
they have like little rainbows on them or something.
I'm sorry. I'm just reflecting back on all of our experiences. And I'm imagining you having socks on right now. And that shit is funny. Like, because you had an extra toe. I think these questions were more for my amusement than they were.
I would assume so, because
they were for yours.
The conversation that we had, I was like, "Hey, I would like your questions to be a little bit more like fun,
really?
But like not." Yeah, I literally
I'm
said
having
that.
Fun.
I literally said that I didn't want the questions to be like so silly this time.
People having fun.
Dear God. People talking about that you asking about Total Recall questions.
That was a third titty. That was a 3 titty.
You are crying right now.
Because this shit is funny.
You having a good time with yourself?
Yes,
I'm over here asking these fulfilling questions. And Evil's like, do you want an extra toe or an extra nipple? Just keep my fucking socks on. Ain't nobody gotta know.
Oh God, I'm gonna find out one way or another.
No, you're not.
Of course I am.
How would you?
How are you gonna hide that in a long-term relationship?
There's very easy ways to hide things like that.
No. I'm gonna be suspect. You always keeping your socks on.
And
okay, we're gonna address the elephant in the room one day.
What?
The elephant in the room.
It sounded like you said elevator.
Yeah, I don't know why you're having a hard time hearing me like throughout
I'm
this
going
live.
to play back every single time I said this to you because I swear to the Lord that you say things funny.
I think you're just getting old.
You.
Yeah, I said it. You make fun of me all the time.
All right, Evo. I love you. I'm gonna ask you my last question, then I'm gonna piece the fuck out and go get me a croissant. Okay, my last question, and I'm asking this to the audience because we are all adults here. What is an adult problem that nobody ever prepared you for?
Whew. Oh, why are you so serious?
It's not serious because it could be funny.
It's so serious.
What is an adult problem that you were not prepared for?
Life.
No,
like
Evo, be a little bit more specific.
What is an adult problem that I was not prepared for?
But that that your parents or whoever did not prepare you for.
I mean, listen, God bless my parents, but they really didn't prepare me for much.
Shit.
I mean, I was separated from my parents when I was 5.
Okay, here we go. I don't need the drama.
It's not about drama. It's like, and then when I came back, I went to go live with my dad, and my mom lived in another state.
Okay, so
my mom was a part of my life, but to say that someone, my parents were there on day in and day out preparing me for like all these life experiences.
Okay, but it's just not your parents. Other elders in your family.
Huh?
You're growing up in life is not just solely about your parents. You have other people. You had an older brother. You have older brothers. You have cousins. You have other people that you're exposed to in your life. So what is something that you were not prepared for as an adult?
A lot of things.
Okay, just pick one.
Okay, college. Wasn't prepared for it. Didn't know what it was about. Didn't know how to even go about it. Didn't know.
But it's an adult problem that I asked. What's an adult problem? What's something that as an adult that you come into that's problematic that no one ever said, hey, as an adult, this is something you may run into? Is there something that you ever came across that you were like, damn, I wish somebody would have had a conversation with me about like this potential problem that I would have encountered? Yeah,
of course.
Okay, so pick one.
Setting my life up for retirement.
But is that a problem?
It's a problem when it's not. It's a problem that you have to solve. You have to set it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's something that you have to put together that no one ever told me. Say like, hey, listen. No one sat me down at the age of 18 and said, hey, listen, as you get older, these are things that you need to plan for in life, and so that later on in your life, you'll be set or you'll have something there to support you. These are stones that you want to start chucking out 40, 50 years ahead of you while you're young, so that when you get there, you have a foundation set that you can actually stand on, and that was never really ever taught to me how to structure that, how to do that. And as I started figuring it out, by the time I started figuring it out in my life, of course I thought to myself like, damn, I wish somebody would have told me this, when I was a lot younger.
Like you weren't prepared?
Of course not.
Yeah, I would say for me, but before I'm going to read some comments. So Edgar says, oh, Pandora's box is open. You can put a Band-Aid on your toe and hide it. Yo, Sonia, thank you so much. Because Evil's like, what do you mean I'll find out?
Why is there an extra Band-Aid hanging off of 5 toes?
No, but so what? I hit my toe on something every single day.
No. There's a whole nother. You got 5 toes and then you have a whole nother Band-Aid.
I don't know. I have a wart.
That's a big ass wart.
Oh well, whatever.
We're gonna have to go see a podiatrist.
It could be little. Some people that have a little extra toe. We're talking
about who? Yo, you said that shit so nonchalant. Some people they have a little extra toe. It's small.
I've seen it.
I've never seen.
I have seen people with small little growths outside of their hand or their feet.
Okay, that's a growth on a toe. We're talking about a whole toe,
well,
nail and everything.
Oh man. Okay. So Edgar says credit card debt. Mark says I wasn't prepared for heartbreak. Mark also says depression. Edgar says parents can't prepare you for heartbreak because every person takes heartbreak differently. Stephanie says how to invest money instead of saving pennies.
Yep.
And then Mark says, I love how Evo thinks. Me and you need a few beers. I'll show you around England.
Sounds like a good time, brother.
Oh my God.
Let's do it.
Evo over here. Evo is he's another one. I'll just tell you that. He's really another one. I would say that the one thing that I was not prepared for as a problem was parenting. I was not shown how to parent.
Neither was I. And honestly, I'm so grateful for you when it comes to that.
Yeah, but what I taught you was what I learned up by myself.
No, what I mean was that I was just fortunate. I was fortunate in that sense where, like, I got to follow your lead on a lot of things.
Which is what I think most people who are raised and see their parents and they lead by example, they then go on to parent like similar. Yeah. But since I didn't know what that was like, I literally had to learn parenting by myself. And it was so problematic for me because you ladies and gentlemen just found out that I fed my kids fucking Chef Boyardee and macaroni and cheese and Hot Pockets. Hey, and now my bougie ass daughter eats fucking Whole Foods pizza. It took a long time. And that was something that was super problematic for me. But I love my boys and I think that they turned out pretty well. And I in hindsight, I wish I could have done better, but I know that I did the best that I could. Right? So that is something, thank you. That is something that I wish something I would have been taught, that I would have been better prepared for. And then Mark says, Evo will be the king of the wing men. To be honest, with his good looks and your style, I'll probably end up being his wingman. Oh man! And then Stephanie says Gina and we'll have our drinks too. Yes, exactly. Talking about listen. I rarely drink now. Honestly, I think at this point we only drink on Fridays.
Once a week,
on Fridays. And we're limiting it because we have so much work to do on Saturdays now. God, I'm so happy to be home.
But always good to get together and have a drink.
Yes, and we love doing with you on Shit Talk Fridays because honestly, it helps us loosen up a little bit because it's not the easiest thing just to talk to a camera. But again, we enjoy everybody that joined us tonight. And Sonia says, I agree with you about parenting. We appreciate everybody who joined us tonight. We had such an awesome time with you.
Yes, we did.
Evo and his fucking weird ass fucking questions.
I thought that's what we were gonna do. We were gonna make this shit interesting.
I gave you an example. Evo, he also doesn't listen, but it's fine.
That shit was way too serious, man.
Because I wanted it to be serious but funny at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And oh wait, I forgot to share this. When I asked my coworker, I said, "What is something that you wish you knew before you started having sex?" And he said, "I wish I knew where the clitoris was." And that's why I thought that shit was funny. I thought you were gonna say something like that, but this PIMP over here was like, "Nah, I was Gucci from day one."
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't ask for it. I just was exposed to a lot of things when I was young. So by the time I had sex, I was pretty well.
Great.
Yeah.
And Edgar says, I need a wing woman and a wing man. I need wings. And then Edgar says, I wish I knew her age. Oh, I mean, I'm sorry. Mark says that. Jokes, just jokes. Mark, you about to get us canceled on here. They're going to. But again, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Shit Talk Fridays.
Always a pleasure.
Yes. Always a pleasure. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Next Friday, we are celebrating Evo's birthday.
What?
You forget?
What are you talking about?
Next Friday we'll be celebrating Evo's birthday. Actually, next Thursday is Evo's birthday, May 6th.
Oh shit! Is a whole year gone by already?
Yes.
God damn. So 47.
we will be celebrating Evo's birthday next Friday. So please join us next Friday, and we'll have a Shit Talk Fridays in honor of Evo's birthday. Because if you remember my birthday, it was pretty lit. But we hope to see all of you next Friday. Yes, but until next time, yo, peace out.
Peace out.